Well, hello everybody, this is going to be part 2 of our parchment craft. If you remember when we were in the hub we made a bookmark. I'm going to show you the next stage of that. You may have already finished your bookmark, but you should have in your pack this pattern, some parchment paper, a pen, you've probably got a bar of soap at home, and you will need an embossing tool of whichever width you've got. Okay, so if you remember we made our bookmark and it was just on a plain piece of paper. You might be able to see now, if I put it on the black you'll see better. I've put a ring, an edge around mine. It wasn't done freehand. I have a pattern with scallops on. I've added the dots with the embossing pen, and I've also started pricking round with my one prong pricking tool, and then I will break the edges round the end. I've also coloured the back just to give it a bit of colour. I haven't done the flowers just because I chose not to, and the centres I did with the little flower pricking tool that we did use at the hub, but I don't think you'll be able to see these on here, so we won't worry too much about these. We'll perhaps do a session when we're all back together. So with this one, as you can see, I've pricked out the holes, I've added an edge, pricked around, and all that's left to do then really is to release it. Now you can do that several ways. I have proper parchment Pergamano scissors. They have a slight curve on them, but you could actually, even if you want to use your pricking tool, if you just gradually break between each hole that you've made. The idea is not to have a smooth edge. It's meant to look like lace. If you don't have the patience to do this, you could just cut them round with an ordinary pair of scissors, but then you obviously wouldn't have the serrated edge. So you can see that's going to cut out with a bit of an edge to it. So that's my bookmark more or less finished for Leslie. This edging you could make your own. You can look online and find patterns. I'm just going to show you some things that I have made in the past, just to give you an idea of different things you can do. This is a card with a different edge again, and then pricked out around the edge, and it depends what colour you put behind it as to the look you get. So here's another one with a different edge. And these I have drawn onto a piece of paper, so then when I want to use them I just trace them with the white pen. This is quite a nice idea for wedding tokens, if you're giving somebody a wedding token. This is done on coloured parchment, so although it's still come up white where we've embossed it, it was actually on pink marbled parchment paper. This is quite a pretty soft one, just white with a pale green background. You can see I've carried the edge right round the whole card. It does take some time to do that, but the best tip I can give you for embossing is to do it really slowly. Don't try and get it too white straight away. Just gradually stretch the fibres and work round your design and then back round. And as you keep coming back round, you've let it rest in between. Here's another one, but I put it on black and then made a butterfly and put it on separately. So it's 3D'd. Here's another one on pale blue. Now this is the edge I've got on my bookmark. This is one I never really finished. It was a wedding card, and to that I would probably have added names or the date. And all these the holes we've made with pricking tools. I'll show you that when we get back together in the hub. And the same applies with this one. If I put it on black, you might see it better. I've pricked it out down here, and here I've cut it away. So I don't know if you can see that down here. Okay. And here's a couple of different bookmarks I've done. And then just pricked through and added some ribbon. And this one also. Okay. So if you would like your task to be to finish or to make a new bookmark with a fancy edge, and I've got one more project that could take you on a little bit further, and that is, I thought we could make a card. So this is just a piece of white card. I've scored some lines and stamped a message on it, and I have some rubber stamps at home, so if any of you card makers at home have rubber stamps, I've stamped this flower and this leaf on here with white ink, and then just exactly the same, gone round and outlined it with my embossing tool. And this, I've shaded this one, so working from the centre out, and then coloured the back. I've got some bits here to show you. So with the card, I would probably stick this on with a bit of 3D foam. So I've just roughly coloured the back because it's not going to show. And stick the flower on. And the leaf. Okay, so, and this one I've done, and done in mauve, so that one then needs building up. And I thought I'd add 3 flowers to this and maybe 2 or 3 leaves. So if we put another one down there, let's do that so you can see where I'm heading. If you haven't got 3D pads, you can use a little bit of glue, but just be careful with the glue because we don't want it to show through on the parchment. Okay, so if I just finish cutting this one out, if I do it with this, it's quicker because this is probably how you'll have to do it. So I'm just popping between each line. I would normally do it with my scissors, to be fair. It gives you a better look, but I don't think you'll have fine enough scissors at home. So this is just another way you can do it. Okay, nearly out. The flowers I've done, as I said, I did that with a stamp that I have, but you could freehand draw your flowers if you're any good at drawing. I'm not very good at drawing, but if you're good at that, you could draw your flowers, or it could be anything. So that one's now ready to come out. And if I stick that one on as well. And this will then gradually build up my card. Now I probably add at least 1 more flower and maybe 2 or 3 more leaves. So I hope that gives you an idea. Oh, the colouring I just did with my felt pens. You can use all sorts of things to colour the back. So good luck with that. So the challenge actually is to make or finish your original bookmark with a fancy edge. Colour it if you want to. And those of you that want to take it further, because you should have enough parchment paper to do a few projects with it, and these only take little pieces, so it doesn't have to be flowers, it can be anything that takes your fancy. So good luck with that. If you need any help, you can give me a call. I think you've all got my number. And see you again with the next challenge. Bye.